Lakers bought in Rajon Rondo this offseason to help mentor fellow point guard Lonzo Ball. The some have speculated that Rondo will have an issue not being the starting point guard. Well, TMZ caught up with him and asked him if he'd be okay coming off the bench.
Whatever they ask me, my main objective is to win. I'm here to help develop Lonzo as much as possible. If I'm not starting, if he's starting, he's going to be ready to go. I'm ready for anybody that comes his way. We'll be ready to roll.
Nick, how do you see it working out? What kind of impact do you think Rondo will have on Lonzo?
I think his biggest impact is going to be interpersonal relationships on the team and in practice. I think Rondo is going to go at Lonzo's throat in practice, and I say that in a good way. Rondo is a notorious competitor, whether it is playing Connect Four, which he considers himself the greatest Connect Four player in the world, or whether it's on the basketball court. Now, there are times where he has checked out on teams, but if he is bought in and engaged, we have seen his relentless competitive nature. I think that will be great for Lonzo Ball on the practice court, and I think that's a huge reason they brought in Rajon Rondo. The other place that I think, and people might be surprised to hear me say this, that I think Rondo can be very helpful with Lonzo is the relationship and dealing from Lonzo's side of things with LeBron. We know LeBron can be notoriously passive-aggressive. We also know LeBron holds players to an incredibly high standard, and LeBron does not have a long history in the last decade of playing with young guys. The best example I can think of since he's been a champion or becoming a champion is with Mario Chalmers and the Heat. And Chalmers got it so bad when they went to the White House, President Obama joked about it. Like it was a running joke, how everything was Mario's fault. That can be tough on Lonzo Ball. And we know Lonzo's dad is going to be in his ear saying one thing. Rondo being something of a calming force, saying, listen, man, don't get down on yourself. Here's what you need to do. Those are the ways that I think Rondo can be most helpful to Lonzo Ball, not in the 20 minutes a game or whatever that Lonzo gets to rest while Rondo's out on the court.
No, I think it's important that you have veteran players. The LeBron relationship, like it's real. It's real to play with any superstar. Not only LeBron. Like when you are even Kevin Durant, there would be insight in playing with him. Playing with Steph Curry, there would be insight in playing with them. But the two areas that I think he can help him the most is Rondo struggled shooting the basketball. All right? That's a real thing. All right? What type of regimen? What did he do different? How to go about it, that's going to be one thing. And another thing that Rondo is real to him is how to run a basketball team. He knows how to run a basketball team. Lonzo does not know how to run a basketball team. And I'm talking about from which plays to call, feel during the game. So I believe that the minutes that Lonzo's on the court and Rondo is watching, he will be orchestrating, directing him, telling him, based on the Lakers' personnel, what are the best sets for them and at what time of the game. So I believe the time on the court and off the court is very, very important. Shooting the basketball, what regiment do I get into? How do I learn how to do that? What shots should I be taking as a point guard? So I think that push-pull there between the veteran Rondo and Lonzo and his lack of experience, I think it's a good fit.
A quick question for you, Nick. You mentioned how fierce a competitor Rondo is, and,
yes.
and anybody that's watched him has seen that. Absolutely, that's factual. Why is it, though, that you think I think a fairly young age, I mean, he's not an old dude, he's okay coming off the bench and stepping into that more mentor role? And I agree with all y'all, I think he is. But why do you think that works with his competitiveness?
I think that Rondo has played on good teams, and he's played for championships early in his career. Then he went to basketball version of the Siberia and Sacramento, and then he was kind of in between. 2 years ago in Chicago, last year in New Orleans, and being able to play with LeBron, being able to play on a one-year deal where maybe he can prove himself and get a bigger deal that I believe he thought he was going to get a bigger offer this offseason after how good he was in the postseason for New Orleans. I think all of that's attractive to him. And while he is saying, listen, I'm okay, he's going to be competing for the starting job. He, I'm sure, wants to be the starting point guard, but he knows who Lonzo is and he knows the team he's on. But we can go back to his time in Chicago. He has, for a guy who's been, this will be his 13th year, he has a good history of embracing the younger guys. When Dwayne Wade and Jimmy Butler were at odds with the younger players in Chicago, Rondo was the veteran who put his arm around those younger guys. Now, I don't think they'll have that type of veteran young player dichotomy in LA, but he isn't an old veteran that's like, I don't need to talk to these young guys. He has a history of doing a good job with that.
Yeah, Rondo's got a lot of basketball left in him. And he's got to deal with LeBron, too. So you just can't say, I'm going to play with the Lakers 1 year, I'm just going to act a fool when you know LeBron. And LeBron's not upset that they didn't trade all these young players for Kawhi with the potential of getting Kawhi. So this is what LeBron has signed up for. And Rondo knows that. So we talk about all these other young players, they got to deal with LeBron. The veteran players got to deal with LeBron too. And he's hard on them, as we saw with J.R. Smith.
And I want to talk about one other person that I think Rondo can help quite a bit. And we had talked about Randy Moss teaching Bill Belichick things. And Belichick, obviously, well, even by the time Randy got there, one of the greatest coaches ever. Rondo can help Luke Walton. Rondo knows as much, if not more, about basketball than Luke Walton. And so that could be a tough situation for the head coach, but I think it could be a beneficial one for the head coach as well. As far as Rondo being able, one of the highest IQ basketball players we have in the league, being able to talk through with Luke Walton what he's seeing on the court, what he's seeing from the young guys, what he's seeing in Lonzo that he went through himself, and all of those things, I think Luke Walton can benefit if they get off on the right foot to Rondo being there as much as Lonzo Ball can. And so I think it's a good fit for those guys all around in that regard.
Absolutely. That's good. I mean, I tend to agree. I mean, I think there's so much drama made around Lonzo's father. Maybe, he's growing up and he has an opportunity to be mentored by some other vets. And he has other voices in his ear other than just his dad.
Yeah, any dad would want that.
Absolutely. Great. Well, we got much more coming up on First Things First. Stay with us.